direction at the time, as I recall. But this is the first of 3 semifinal heats in the 110-meter hurdles. And we're looking at Nebraska's Darius Luff, who is undefeated this outdoor season against collegians.
Well, he swept the Big Ten titles indoors and outdoors, and along with his success, Nebraska is having a renaissance as well. Nebraska won the team title at the Big Ten championships, and Justin St. Clair, new head coach, has got everybody really, fans and certainly the alumni, really worked up at the University of Nebraska. But Darius Luff, I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and real kind of a soft-spoken young man. He just is, all he says is he just wants to get out there and race. But born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska, went to Lincoln High School, won a state championships in the hurdles, finds himself wearing the big red uniform. Now in a hurdle race, Dwight, which I think anything could absolutely happen. There is no favorite this season, both in the indoor hurdles or the outdoor hurdles. This is Cameron Murray, North Carolina State. They've produced a number of good hurdlers over the year, but he was your ACC champ. Took down the Clemson indoor champion to take that ACC title. We'll talk about him a little bit later, but should be a good race in the middle of the track.
Qualification is top 2 finishers in each of these 3 heats will automatically qualify to Friday's final. Then the next 3 times over the 3 heats that were not automatic qualifiers. Anything can happen in these hurdles. Luff in lane 4, third from the right of your screen. Murray right on his right. Good start. Luff out well. Good reaction of the gun. It's Luff. Right next to him is Caleb Dean of Texas Tech. Now it's Dean. And coming up is Cameron Murray. Luff taking control on 9-10. It's going to be Murray edging him at the tape, but he gets an automatic qualifier by finishing second. So Murray wins it, and Luff finishes second. Wind was just under the allowable at 1.7 meters per second, and 13:39 the official time for Cameron Murray.
Well, the 2 guys that we identified off the bat, Darius Luff in the red top, and to his right, Cameron Murray of North Carolina State. They ran really solid in the middle of the track. But look at the square shoulders on Darius Luff. He does a really good job. He's not a super tall guy. He's not barely over 6 feet tall, but he does a really good job keeping those shoulders square and continuing to drive down the track. Even when he hits hurdles, he's moving in a forward position.
Just a 100th of a second separates them. Murray wins it. Luff second. They both qualify. Caleb Dean finishing third. He's got to wait for 2 more heats to run before he can see if that 13:56 will hold up as a qualifier. That makes Johnny Bracken's 13:64. He becomes the bubble time. Well, quite a bit of wood chopped in that first heat, so they get out there and reset the hurdles.
Well, those hurdles are plastic now, but yeah, it's nice to imagine those. Trust me, I ran when they were wood, and I still have the welts the scars to certainly prove it. But yeah, these hurdles do not go down very easily, and these athletes, when you're running at full speed, you know, sometimes you hit them right, they can bust apart.
I'm showing my age, Dan. Omatade Ojora of USC and Great Britain in lane 6 will be the one to look for in this particular heat. Finalist the last 2 years.
Yeah, he easily won the Pac-12 championship, and talking to his coach, Joanna Hayes, Olympic gold medalist from Sydney, Australia, talking to her today, she said he really hasn't been in a battle. She wants Tade to get out there and really mix it up. She thinks he hasn't run his best races yet. She expects him to go pretty quick. And then next to him on his left, Connor Schulman. This kid played all sports in high school. He's from the state of Texas here, not Texas A&M. But he's a great example of somebody who can improve once you get to the college ranks. He didn't break 14 flat in high school, and here he is at the NCAA championships with a personal best of 13:43.
There's your list of competitors. Ojora in 6, Schulman in 5. Top 2 finishers automatically qualifying to Friday's final. Obvious team implications in this race with Ojora of USC. Johnny Bracken's waiting to see if his time from heat number 1 will advance him. Look for 9 champion finalists in the lane races. 8 score. So Ojora there, 4th from the left, and then Schulman on his left. So officials pull them up. Just a little bit of breeze in their back. It was under the allowable for heat number 1. You see the flags on the backstretch side, close to unfurled. Cameron Murray's time at heat number 1 was a lifetime best. National championships is the time to perform at your best. We'll be seeing a lot of that across the board.
Well, and what's interesting, I see these guys right before race time. I've run a number of high caliber hurdle races, and man, you're having to hold yourself back. You're so excited. You want to get in the blocks, you want to run, and to stand up and reset can be agonizing to these guys, but they are experienced, and that's what makes them just the best guys in the country. They've been through this before. They know what to expect. They can manage it.
Ojora goes right up to a standing position out of the gun. That's Matthew Sophia of LSU on the outside going well. Now there's Schulman. Ojora getting back into it. Schulman is going to win it. Ojora gets second. So they grab the 2 automatic qualifying times. Schulman pretty excited about that. 13:33 he should be. That's a lifetime best for the Aggie Junior. 1.1 meters per second of wind behind him, so under the allowable.
Well, again, a lot of lumber went down in that race as well, Dwight. You could hear it every time they got to the hurdles, just crash. Tadej Ojora is going to look back on this race. He's a 7-strider to the first hurdle. He's got to be patient. But one of the things that they've been working on at USC was to really push out of the blocks. He just stood right up and tried to run. He's certainly going to get reprimanded for that. But while Tadej Ojora was all over the place, technically, Connor Schulman right in the middle. There you see him in the white top with the maroon bottoms. He runs almost a flawless race. Great turnover in between. Nice hurdle action, no wasted motion, and he knew it as soon as he crossed the line that he had hit a big one.
For Ojora, that's a lifetime best and a national leader in Great Britain in second place. Devion Wilson at 13:37 is almost certain to advance on that time. But Sophia will have to wait to see if his time holds up. Brackens from the first heat for USC is out.
Well, if Tadej Ojora can clean up that race, he hit a lot of hurdles, stood straight up a couple of times during that race. If he can clean up some of those technical errors, he's going to be somebody to deal with in the finals.
So the bubble time is 13:59 as we look at Rasheem Brown, the senior from Tennessee and from the Cayman Islands.
Well, the University of Tennessee at the regional meet, absolute mayhem. They had 4 guys that potentially could have been here at these championships, and Rasheem Brown, the only Tennessee volunteer who actually makes it here. Dwayne Ross, the head coach of Tennessee, was absolutely furious. All 4 of them got through to the final day of competition at Jacksonville, but just guys went down, crashed hurdles. But big tailwinds can do that to some of these guys. And there's Gianna Roberts. He was second. He was second place in the ACC championships this season. But NCAA champ indoors, having a good outdoor season, been very, very consistent.
Rasheem Brown will be 4th from the left of your screen. There are the competitors. Gianna Roberts, 3rd from the right. Bubble time 13:59. Got to be under that time if you do not finish in the top 2 in order to advance to Friday's finals. Good start for Gianna Roberts. In fact, might get too good a start. As you heard the tone. Now we wait to see if it's a green card, a yellow card, or a red card. I tell my high jumpers, if you think you broke the plane and the judge is not on the plane, don't look at the judge and tell on yourself. Sprinters use the exact same philosophy. Don't look at the starter. Don't look at the official. Act like it wasn't me. Well, it's not as obvious.
He got a really good start, but to me it did not appear to be a false start. Maybe somebody down on the end flinched a little bit.
Yeah, looked like maybe Jaheim Hales of Syracuse flinched. Well, let's see. I don't see them. They're getting ready to go over there, so we'll see what color card it is and if anybody is DQ'd. So it's a yellow card to the field we're hearing. So a big exhale for probably a couple of guys who know that they've flinched at the top. So they will reset. Third and final heat of these 110-meter hurdles. Fourth, I should say, from the left, Rasheem Brown. Transferred North Carolina A&T, but before that he was at Milligan, NAIA school in Tennessee. Gaining his eligibility at the University of Tennessee now under Dwayne Ross. Fair start this time. Gianna Roberts got out well again, as did Grant Reed of Iowa. And in the middle, that's Philip Lemonius of Arkansas. You never know what kind of race you're going to get out of him, and this time he's going to win it. Roberts is the second automatic qualifier, and Rasheem Brown just didn't show up. 13:29, now corrected to 13:28.
Well, Lemonius comes in with a 13:21 personal best, and we didn't mention him off the top because you're absolutely right, Dwight. Battled some injuries, doesn't run a lot some of the season, but then he shows up at the championship meets and he really comes through. Very powerful guy out of the blocks. Really even start over the first couple of hurdles, but it was Lemonius who took over about halfway through. And he's hitting those hurdles, but when you're hitting them on the downside, hitting them on the other side, they don't affect you quite as much. But Gianna Roberts there, he ran a good, clean race. Rasheem Brown also clean, but that was really a good time. The tailwind, you can tell, is not so big. These guys don't appreciate a huge tailwind back there, but still a lot of guys hitting hurdles.
Rasheem Brown at 13:53 might squeak through on time. Lemonius wins it in his best time of the season by far. Roberts second off a great start. And there are your qualifiers to finals, and Rasheem Brown did grab the last time qualifier, so he does live to hurdle another day. All right, when we come back to Austin, it's the 100-meter semifinal.